Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This week it is weekend working as a university lecturer. Hey, welcome to the channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Caroline. I am a UK-based university lecturer and I study and I research and I work in physics. On this channel, we tend to discuss, all the academic topics related to being a lecturer, things to do with your research, your teaching, the roles you might have to have within the department. And I think it's important to have an honest conversation about our working hours. I have chatted about this a little bit in the past, but over the last few weeks, I've noticed that I've been working more evenings again, more weekends again. Maybe that's a consequence of semester 2 now being fully underway, but I would think it's important that as academics we do explore a little bit our working conditions, and a part of that is working at the weekend. When you join a university and you'll get your university contract, it might look different to ones that you've had before in industry. So when I left after my PhD, I went to work in industry for many years. And my contract there really was, between certain hours of the day. I was expected to start work by a certain time, I was expected to take so long for lunch, and I was expected to finish work in the evening at a certain time. And if I was going to be doing late working or working across the weekends, there might be a consideration that it might be overtime, or I'd be taking time off in lieu. So doing some work at the weekend and then getting some time back off during the week. Now, when I joined the university, so as an academic, you might find that your hours then suddenly don't become so rigid. So within my working week, I've got flexibility to put my teaching in, to put my research in, to put my admin in. Now, of course, it's within the boundaries of university life. So I'm timetabled to teach at certain times. I have to attend certain departmental meetings. But around those kind of dedicated teaching slots and kind of departmental timed slots, you do get some kind of flexibility with how you tackle your tasks to complete your role as being an academic. And one of the things that you might find is that you might find yourself choosing or needing to work evenings or weekends. I'm obviously very keen on trying to maintain a personal work-life balance. I love being a physics lecturer, I love studying physics, but also there's other things I also really enjoy doing, and it's really important to me that I have the free time to do those activities. But my departmental role is as admissions tutor, so I look after the physics intake for the undergraduate population at my university. And that means that there's going to be open days and applicant days and events that are running at the weekend. I'm also, an experimental and a computational physicist, and that means that I might need to go to conferences at weekends, attend experiments at weekends. And actually lately I've been obviously gearing up for teaching in semester 2, and sometimes I might need to find myself doing module preparation and teaching work spilling into the weekends. So is it a good thing to work into the weekends, and how do you manage it if you need to have weekend working? I guess the first thing is, as academics, we will tackle our desire and our ability to work at the weekends differently. So some of my colleagues will be working all through the weekend, they absolutely love their job, or they are just involved in something that means they need to work across the weekends. Some of my colleagues will definitely never want to work across weekends, and they'll be quite strict about doing their working hours within Monday to Friday. And I think most of us fall somewhere in the middle, where we try to do our work during the week, and then inevitably sometimes we have to do bits at the weekend. And obviously it's also going to depend on your personal situation. Do you have childcare responsibilities? Do you have any other dependents on you that require you to do activities at the weekend? That will also flex when and how you can do your work for the university. So as admissions tutor, I used to go to all the open days, all the offer holder days, and as I said, these were quite often on Saturdays or Sundays. So literally I'd be doing a full day of work on a Saturday or on a Sunday. I really enjoy meeting prospective applicants. So although these days were very busy and I'd be running around a lot and they would be, a hard working day, I would enjoy the activity and enjoy what I was getting up to. But I was always quite, not tough with myself, but I always used to make sure that if I had worked a weekend day, I took some time off during the week, or I allowed myself, a little bit of an afternoon, couple of hours out to do something to kind of compensate for that weekend working. I think that was particularly important for me because of my industrial days. So when I was in industry, as I said, it was very kind of, you did take time off if you had worked additional hours outside your kind of normal expectation. And I think I just kind of carried that into my academic working. I've also lately tried to be a bit strict with myself about not necessarily attending or supporting every single weekend event if I don't need to. In some situations I have to be there to kind of coordinate the activity, but sometimes it's actually very sensible and logical for me to coordinate the activity, to arrange for it to be kind of covered by my colleagues, and actually to attend only part of the activity. And so I'm trying at weekends to maybe not do the full day of these activities, but instead do a sensible part of the day. But what I also find, and what I found lately, is that I have been needing to do a little bit of work outside of the working week, so in that weekend time, for getting my module ready and for ensuring the class materials are ready for the semester ahead. Now, in part, I think this is because I'm currently leading a new module for my university. So in previous semesters where I've taught modules, over the last few years, obviously I've been teaching things that I've kind of taught the same content for the last few years. And yes, I do tweak the content between years and I change my materials, but it's not as much initial preparation work, if you like, because I've already done that legwork at the beginning when I took on the new module. This module, on the other hand, is a new module, and whilst I've done all the kind of the class preparations to get the materials ready, to get like the assessments ready, the marking schemes, all the lecture content, all of that, is like written and ready to go, there's still practicalities with running the module that sometimes mean I need to log on at the weekend to make sure things are ready. So, each week we'll be releasing content to the students, and I want to go on at the weekend sometimes to make sure that content is queued up correctly. Is the information in the place where it needs to be? Quite often I will write, we have like this news board electronically for our students. So I'll write an electronic news board post, and I need to schedule that to go out at a particular time on a Monday. And sometimes I'll get those activities done before the close of play on Friday, and other times actually it will just be kind of a fairly quick job, but it still takes an hour maybe at the weekend to log on to make sure those things are ready. So I guess I tend to do things at the weekend that are needed in terms of the teaching or needed in terms of administration. Obviously, as an academic, I absolutely adore doing research. And so if there's a conference at the weekend or an experiment at the weekend, those will also fit into my schedule and I will be keen to attend those activities. But as I said, what your appetite is for weekend working and your ability to do weekend working, I think really will depend on your personal situation and, what other responsibilities you have. And I think it's also really important not to feel it's an every week obligation to work at the weekends. So I think as academics, as university scholars, we do have this reputation for working long hours and working, after the evening shifts and working across these weekends. And I don't want my students to see me working such long hours that I don't have my free time and my kind of social activities, and for them to think that is the acceptable pattern that they should be following as well. I want to set a good example to my PhD students and my masters and my researching, team, that actually you can really enjoy your research and enjoy your job, but not have to work every single hour at the weekend and every single evening. But it would be unrealistic if I sat here and said that I do not work weekends and evenings, because I know sometimes they will be kind of creeping in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link the video that I recorded, I think it was maybe a couple of years ago about this, because it'll be interesting to see if my perspective on weekend working has changed. Do I do more of it now? Do I do less of it now? But I'd be really interested to know your kind of views. We have this YouTube community on all things university. Do you work at weekends? Now, if you're a student, you probably are going to be doing coursework and getting things ready for your kind of university assessments. If you are a lecturer or a professor or a teaching fellow, do you find that your weekends are very busy? Does it change throughout the year? I think my weekends are definitely more likely to have work time allocated to them during semester than they are during like the kind of the vacation periods at the university. And then how strict are you with this kind of time off in lieu situation? Do you really try to be disciplined? And if you work a weekend or you work evening hours, do you make sure you kind of have some time off in the week to compensate? Or are you just being swamped with so much work that the only way to kind of keep going is to work all the weekends? And I'm very grateful that I'm not currently in that position. And I don't think my university would actually put me into that position. But yeah, let me know in your comments. What is your kind of working weekend? And do you have a working weekend? Anyway, I am actually recording this on a weekend day. It'll probably go up tomorrow onto YouTube. So I am going to do a small amount of work today. I'm also going to go out and make sure that we have a nice long walk, maybe get like a breakfast brunch thing out somewhere, I guess. So yeah, it's really important to me to try to get a balance. I don't always do it, but it's important for me for my kind of university well-being. But yeah, leave me a note in the comments. Next week we'll dive back into something either teaching focused or research focused, but I just think it's important every now and to check in with these kind of other aspects of being a university academic, and to acknowledge the things that we sometimes do in our working week that maybe we don't maybe talk about publicly as much as we possibly should. But yeah, have an awesome week. Have a great weekend if you're watching this at the weekend. And I will see you next Monday for another academic video. Oh, and if you're new and you fancy all things university chat, please do hit subscribe. It's free to join the channel and it's lovely to have this community here on YouTube. But anyway, I'll see you in a week's time. So take care and yeah, I'll see you next Monday. Bye.